Startup Podcast page is co-produced by One CFO, Credit Hero, Y Spaces, Simp, Tuala, Gig Genius, Schooltech Bedfolio, and Red Circle Global. Check out our partners in the description.
Welcome sa Startup Podcast PH, inspiring more Filipino entrepreneurs and innovators. Live tayo ngayon dito sa Y Spaces BGC, our partner coworking and event space. And we have a startup episode. We have Yuda, building the retail energy infrastructure for Filipino homes and businesses. And by the way, Yuda is in the solar energy industry. And we have Ping Mendoza, founder and CEO. Hello, Ping. Kamusta?
Morning. Thanks, Johnny, for having me.
Ayun, no? Actually, I'm very excited kasi medyo matagal na nga ako hindi nakapag-interview ng solar energy. But I still also believe like you, no, na maraming kailangan gawin sa energy sector ng Pilipinas, lalo na on the consumer level. Later, mas mapapag-usapan natin yan.
Sure.
But I let you do the introduction, Ping. So, ano nga ba, Ping, ang Yuda?
Okay, so Yuda is our startup that we just launched no March 16. Actually, we didn't want to start that early. We were planning a later launch, pero biglang nagkagera eh. And so medyo na iba yung buong formula and like timing and market conditions. So we had to hurry up and launch March 16. We've been piecing this together since last year. So what Yuda essentially is, starting with rooftop solar, we want to create this consumer experience for energy that has been lacking in the Philippines. Many reasons for that. Syempre, it's a very regulated industry. There's a lot of stakeholders sa energy sector, and the industry hasn't really been used to a consumer experience that has, it is led by branding and consumer insight rather than regulations and technology. So gusto namin i-combine yun into an offer na maintindihan ng common na Filipino, but fundamentally, makakababa kasi ng cost of power if you do that. Because I believe that people just want really affordable electricity. You can brand something all you want and like market it all you want, but the core need state is dapat makita nila yung value ng binabayaran nila. So Yuda is our startup that hopes to address this, and our mission is to make solar as easy as possible. We want solar made easy in the way that not everyone has to be an electrical engineer to understand it. Not everyone needs to understand the details that goes under the hood. And the I guess the bad metaphor we try to use is parang grab food for solar installers. Because before platform, madami naman nagte-take out, madami naman nagpapadeliver, and madaming restaurants. May mga karinderya, merong malalaking restaurant, but the consumer experience was never curated. So with Yuda, we take care of that. We use our team's expertise in the industry, in technology, in finance, para easier yung decision point for the consumer.
Still filling out loan applications for your business? Yeah, thought so. Save your time. Grow your business. With Credit Hero, one online application gets you loan offers from multiple lenders. Apply for a business loan now. Visit credithero.com.
But ito, no, I'll go straight to the question. I always go straight to the critical question, the critical parts here. You mentioned na parang minimix yung, well, now the energy industry or yung pag-handle sa kanya, very, very regulatory. But malaking part yung kailangan gawin sa consumer side. And I guess malaking part dun is yung presyo. So, do you think, and I think ito nga yung mission or parang buhay talaga ni Yuda. Do you think ba sa current state, and I guess ito rin yung problem na solve ni Yuda sa startup, sa current state, medyo mahina or onte yung power ng consumers when it comes to energy? Para I see kasi things always, anything, food, transportation. Well, politics naman lahat ng yan eh. Politically, may power yung regulating body, let's say the government, and the consumers as the one consuming. What do you say sa energy?
So I go back to a fundamental view I have na, progress is based on private property. Without private property, you're unable to scale up your economy, and ganun naman nag-start ang Industrial Revolution in Europe eh. Right? You had previously a feudal system, which I know we can relate, especially in our times na, you have all these, I guess, outsized influence of politics in our daily lives. But that's a symptom. I really believe that regulations and politics is just a symptom of a bigger sort of system, which is we're all primarily a feudalistic society. Lords, vassals, and there's an outsized balance of power that is influencing both economy and how people live. How did the Industrial Revolution happen in in Europe? Railroads were built. The cost of energy got lower when it was relative to the goods and services delivered to the common person. With railroads, mas mura mong napadala at scale, yung products, services, people were able to move around, more trade. And in the Philippines, up to 60% of our electricity is used in the Meralco franchise area. So that's roughly mga 20 million Filipinos. Ilan na yung population natin ngayon? Mga 120? Imagine only 40% of electricity used by 100 million, whereas tayo dito sa BGC, para tayong mini Singapore dito eh. Very, very different yung balance of this distribution of electricity. So, my view is, by offering deflationary technology, such as rooftop solar, and more entrepreneurial approach to business, in the long run, you can sort of minimize the impact of politics and all the feudal noise. And we need to promote more entrepreneurs, more technology deployment, and better, cheaper, faster deployment of services to people.
Gets. I mean, in a nutshell, no, yung philosophy is that kaya pala infrastructure no yung namagat ko sa description kanina kasi as you said sa railroads if it's controlled by just a small entity or so mas may power talaga yung small entity, so mahihirapan yung consumer body or yung lahat ng tao. Sa energy somehow ganun din, but ang gusto ngang mangyari is mas may access, mas may capability ang bawat isang tao to have energy. Is that right?
So the way I view that is, it's not just an issue of access Kasi the compounding impact of network effects when you have more transactions, more things happening on a network, yun actually yung nakaka-reduce ng cost ng any good or service. So, for instance, sa pinaka-basic, real estate. Kaya naman nagkakaroon ng value ang isang certain real estate is it has access, both because of roads or ports or seaports, to talent, to businesses. And my view is in the energy industry, that's sort of controlled and constrained at the same time. Why? Other than regulations and dati kasi mas practical lang talaga na large power plants, malayo sa city center, kasi ayaw natin ng mabahong coal, maingay, environmental issues. You have to put your power plants far, bring it through transmission lines, redistribute it through distribution networks, and then consume it. Ngayon lang naman kasi nagkaroon ng, the economics of solar cheap enough such that it's now a lot cheaper if you generate the same kilowatt hour or the unit of power within your property.
Ang transmission ba, mahal ba yung cost na yun? I mean, for the traditional electricity. I mean, yun ba yung kinakat natin dito? Yung the energy or the work required to transmit from the power plant to the homes,
That's a big part of it.
Okay.
So, syempre, billions of pesos ang transmission infrastructure. It doesn't make sense na parang free market yan na 10 yung transmission company fighting for right-of-way and building lines and poles. Hindi siya ganun kamahal if you spread out to all the consumers. But, syempre, kunyari, ikaw, meron kang, and this happens more often than you would think in the Philippines. Kunyari, gusto mo magtayo ng factory or some,
yes.
let's say, ecozone sa Aurora or some probinsya. Kung wala pa yung transmission line doon, mahirapan sila bumili ng power. And sometimes they have to pay for that access if it's even allowed.
Parang similar to sa urban farming. Correct me if I'm wrong, urban farming. Kasi urban farming, farming, agriculture, kaya din medyo mahal sa ngayon ng gulay. I'm just doing an analogy. Malalayo ang farms, Baguio, for example, or wherever. Then ita-transport, then marami pang pasa-pasa yan na hanggang madating sa Metro Manila. So, may cost for the transportation and other stuff. But if yung farms ay nasa urban, sa building na to, merong mga lettuce, for example, lesser cost siya in that sense. I guess somehow analogous siya sa dito, na yung source of energy or yung source of, kung medyo kulang ang aking knowledge sa energy, andito na mismo. Right?
Yes. So, Actually, that's a very good analogy. Although on the agri side, I would imagine malaki rin yung impact on wastage kasi syempre fresh produce yan, may time aspect. But using that analogy sa power naman, every kilowatt hour you produce or generate has to be consumed instantaneously. Kaya important yung grid, kailangan laging live yung network. Kasi when, let's say, a coal plant somewhere produces that unit of power, at the same time in the grid, dapat magamit yun or else it's lost. Either whether it's heat dun sa transmission system or like, kaya yung pricing ng power is actually one of the most honest markets. Kasi it's sort of like,
Very real time.
very physical constraint siya. Physics yung nagdedetermine nun But right, like to your point, kung backyard farming yan, since you're producing the food within your property, bakit mo pababayaran yung road that brings it to the market and then the market markup that then, that cost adds up, right?
Just to be concrete, I think alam naman ng mga tao na marami nagreklamo sa kuryente, sa presyo ng kuryente. Lalo na, umangat ba yung presyo ng kuryente? Hindi ako ganun ka-familiar dahil sa war. Ang alam ko, umangat yung gas, gasolina. Tsaka, transportation, aeroplano. Ang kuryente ba, umangat din? Actually,
Yes.
umangat din ba? Okay.
Significantly so.
Okay, hindi ko napansin. So,
Buti hindi mo napansin kasi madaming nakakapansin ngayon. Tsaka,
hindi kasi, sorry,
Yeah.
if I may batik
Go.
lang. Ang ano kasi pag summer, umaangat talaga. So
Yes.
parang doon ko lang siya inattribute sa pag-angat ng, dahil summer, dahil mainit, umangat yung Meralco bill ko. Factor din ba talaga yung war, yung pag-angat ng gasolina?
Yes.
Okay.
so mostly, syempre mga tao isipin na kasi nag-aircon ako or like,
Yun nga.
dumami yung ginamit yung pampalamig ng bahay. That's partly. So, ang hirap kasi yung bill ng utility, usually mahirap maintindihan for a common person. Like, unless pinag-aralan mo how that's actually designed and like, ano nangyayari doon. But true, madami na tumas yung consumption, kaya naging mahal yung bill nila. Makikita niyo doon sa kilowatt-hour metered quantity doon sa utility niyo.
Yes.
But the determinant itself, yung price, tumas rin yan. Mostly because most of our fuel is imported. I think more than 60% of power is coal-fired. And then a lot of the gas contracts are also influenced by Forex. Kasi even if we have Malampaya, which is an indigenous source, some of the benchmarks ng pricing are influenced by foreign market rates. Diesel, not so much actually, kasi malit lang ang part ng oil products in the energy mix. Thankfully, we have some renewable na medyo independent sa Forex. Pero mostly Forex yun, yung nag-drive ng costs.
So if I may ask, do you have a projection para labas maka-relate ang lahat ng tao? Do you have a projection kung in case lang like in the ideal state, gaano magiging mababa ang Meralco bill or ng kuryente, ang electricity? Like ilang percent? Ako ngayon medyo weird kasi yung recent electric bill. Sorry,
Go ahead.
Pero parang nasa around 3,000 per month yung electricity bill sa akin. So just to lang, para lang mas may idea. Kung maging renewable energy or kung mabuo yung infrastructure na ito na binibuild ni Yuda, gaano kadiliit yung yung electricity bill ng mga tao? if I may ask that.
So the way I would describe it is back to the cost of power, right? Yung Meralco right now and most utilities, let's take the Meralco area naman, which is most of the Philippines demand, right? If you're a residential consumer, they have some tiering of pricing. Pero yung general na lang, yung pinaka matataas na consumption, I think it's now over 15 pesos per kilowatt hour.
Okay.
So every month, ang price that you're paying for that unit of power is 15 pesos. Okay? I'm simplifying, of course, like just to. So if you buy a solar power system for your roof without battery, because that's the cheapest, basically instead of kukuha ka sa Meralco, yung solar muna yung kukunin ng bahay mo. And then kung may sobra kang demand, tsaka ka lang kukuha doon sa utility.
Okay.
So there's no battery required in that setup. That's what you call a grid-tied system. So effectively, battery mo pa rin yung utility. Which is what I recommend kasi yun yung pinakamura and most cost-effective. If you buy it at current market rates, mga 3 to 4 years yung payback nun. Or if we relate it to the 15 pesos, if you spread out that cost to like 20 years, nasa mga 4 pesos lang yun 4 to 5 pesos lang yun.
Okay.
And even if you add batteries, nasa mga 7 to 8 pesos lang yun. Yung cost nun. So effectively, kung ikaw, and many people are already inquiring about this na magpapadagay silang solar tas may battery, pwede na lang ma-zero yung Meralco bill nila. And that's gonna be something like 8 to 9 pesos per kilowatt hour equivalent, right? And yung solar plus battery yan is probably 5, 6, 7 years ROI, which is still a pretty good investment for most people.
Okay, now here's the question. So yeah, how can, like me for example, gusto magpakabit, paano siya mangyayari? And magkano nga ba yung and paano siya install, paano siya ano mangyayari if I want solar installation in my place, for example?
I think the first step is you have to decide what you want. Do you want to zero out your utility bill para hindi mo na iniisip yun forever or like as much as you possibly can? Or gusto mo lang ng savings? Gusto mo lang makatipid peso per peso, ano yung pinakasulit, right? Because kung doon sa una, gusto mo lang talagang ma-zero na yung utility bill mo, that's a solar plus battery solution. That's probably gonna cost you a much higher peso amount.
Okay.
And syempre, depende rin sa demand mo yun.
Okay.
You can think of it as a car. Na kung kunyari, kailangan mo na mas powerful engine for your higher speed or better performance, syempre, mas matataas yung price of that equipment. But the good thing about solar is medyo linear yung cost curve niya. So, yung per peso unit economics ng maliit na system versus the large, hindi siya ganun ka different per unit, no? On the other hand, if gusto mo talaga ng pinakasulit na, like I said, 3 to 4 year ROI dun sa pagbili mo ng solar, that's a grid-tied system. And what that only lets you do is instead of sa utility ka kukuha ng electricity during the day, between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., yung solar muna yung kukunin mo. Right? So, imbis na umikot yung metro mo, kumuha ka from the utility, yung solar muna, yung electricity that you use up.
If I may ask, ano ibig sabihin ng kumukuha sa solar? Diretso sa araw? Or hindi ba like para may mini battery din yun? Or talagang diretso sa araw? Or may grid din ba yung solar? Yeah.
So, that's the grid-tied setup where the solar panels are on your roof.
Okay.
And then that creates a direct current that is needed to be turned into AC or alternating current kasi yung buong grid naman is AC, which seamlessly blends with your consumption.
Okay.
So yung inverters, yan yung brain of the system that gets your solar generation and then detects what is coming from the grid. Tapos siya na yung maghahalo. Hindi mo naisipin yun. So, kung kunyari, mas mataas yung solar output, di na muna siya kukuha sa utility. Pero pag kulang to, kunyari, bukas ka na isa pang aircon, tapos sumobra doon sa solar output yung kailangan mo, doon papasok siya. So, hihahaluin niya yun.
Okay.
So, tataas naman yung kukunin mo from the utility.
Ganun pala yun. Pero that's, I mean, sorry, wala ko alam sa solar energy. That's instantaneous, no? Na from the sun, kumbaga parang equivalent yung from the grid, as in yung grid, yung from power plant to the grid, same yun sa sun rays dun sa, tama ba?
So this is exactly where I agree with the Meralco. Alam mo yung a few weeks ago, so nag-viral yung sa post ko about guerrilla installations and safety standards. As long as, internationally certified and maganda yung pagka-install and yung internationally certified yung gamit, like the inverters, instantaneous yun na matotono niya, in layman's term, yung frequency, yung voltage, yung power quality nung solar output dun sa grid para walang issue. Magsisynchronize siya dun sa current grid.
And for sure, mas malakas to kapag mas maalaw, no? Parang, so of course, ano lang siya, malamang 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. nga, right?
Correct.
And malamang hihina yan pag sunset or around that, So ang pwede mangyari, habang may araw, naka-on siya, so mostly nagagamit yung solar energy nga, and then pag mahina na yung araw, doon ako sa grid ko connect.
Exactly. So you would notice also na, actually started tayo sa Philippines, equator tayo eh. So medyo consistent throughout the year yung sunlight. But of course, kunyari may cloud na dumaan, magda-drop yung production. So on a day-to-day, Anyway, dun sa service namin, we provide online monitoring. So makikita mo naglalaro yan eh. Depende sa sunlight na tumatama sa bahay mo. But on average, throughout the year, it will look like a parabola, right? Kasi
Summer.
if you imagine how it works fundamentally, para siyang billiards eh. Yung sun rays, pag tinamaan yung solar panel, so the more perpendicular the sun rays, the more power.
Okay, good.
So pag naka-angle yung sun, medyo nagde-decrease yung output. So 6 a.m., it starts out closer to zero, pero it becomes a parabola.
12 noon. Or
12 noon.
Pag tirik ang araw.
Exactly.
Oh! Now, speaking of the service ni Yuda, so ano exactly yung service ni Yuda? And ano yung range? Installation, purchase of the equipment, after sales, like yung... So ano exactly yung range ng ginagawa
Right.
ni Yuda?
So if you go to our website now, you can see our offering. We offer medium and extra low voltage solutions. And what the only way to describe it to a layman is it's not high power systems that we do. As compared to some setups na meron kang high power DC, papasok sa inverter and then it goes to your system. We use microinverters. So the DC panel has an inverter attached to it already. And then that becomes a low voltage feed into your grid. So when you go to our website, nandun na yung pricing namin. That's an all-in price. Kasama na installation, kasama na yung site visit, kasama na yung we offer like for now, yung first customers enjoy a lifetime warranty claim assistance service. So our inverters naman have a 20-year warranty. Panels are more than that. So pag may nasira, Yuda takes care of warranty claim assistance from you, for you. And what's good about that is we also have an AI-enabled monitoring platform so that every month we'll send you an update kung how your system performed, and kung meron mang sira, even if you didn't check it, we'll recommend almost like a car PMS schedule, right? And then we're working on a lot more products that will launch very soon. Pero for now, if you go to our website and social media, you can book your free site visit.
Mm-mm.
We have a set of partners na installers that we've worked with in the past na are good quality, nagwo-waterproofing test, and then we also figure out the supply chain and very soon yung financing offer. Para hindi ka na maghahanap kung sino ba installer na ganito, ganyan, may business permit ba sila or like compliant ba yung mga installer. So we enable a platform experience para ang iniisip mo na lang magkano ba yung babayaran ko, ano yung savings, and alagaan na niyo yung system mo for 25 years.
So, by the way, so iba yung installer, hindi kayo installer. Kumbaga there's a separate entity na installer.
Correct. We treat them as customers. Because many installers I've worked with, like in the 12 years I've been doing solar, many of them are very good at what they do electrical wise. They have the local labor, yung relationships on the ground. Minsan nahirapan sila bumili ng equipment, nahirapan sila maka-negotiate ng lower cost equipment from the importers or the manufacturer. So that's where I want to enable them. And I think in the long run, it's going to be almost like a franchisable model. Na meron kami mga local franchisees, and then you carry the Yuda operating system for your business.
Now, sobrang na-curious ako sa story mo, no? Pero may isa pang question lang about sa installation. Kasi parang I'm interested talaga eh. Kaso, I live in a condominium, na-rent ko lang. Pwede ba yun? Or kailangan ba I own the property and kailangan ba bahay na may bubong?
That's a great question. And dumadami na yung nagtatanong yan. What I would suggest is, again, kung ang goal mo is to have savings, hindi ganun ka easy mag-solar. We're studying products now in Europe. Lumilipad ngayon yung balcony solar na kakabit mo lang sa balcony. But I don't think wala pa nag-offer nun dito masyado. Or if any.
Kasi kung balcony, hindi siya perpendicular sa araw.
Correct. Sa Europe, medyo gumagana yun kasi higher latitude. So yung angle talaga nung sun nila is, ideal. Pero kasi sa Pilipinas, actually dapat mga 5 degrees lang yung tilt eh. Para we're like close to 5 degrees north of the equator eh. So I don't know kung ganun ka-successful ang balcony solar dito. However, kung ang goal mo naman is hindi ka magka-brownout, we do offer an AC coupled battery.
Yung battery.
Na kahit wala kang solar, I can plug it into your distribution panel.
Now, ito yung question. So, parang dalawa pala yung value for consumers. Correct me lang And baka nga may third din, gusto ko tanongin. First, of course, yung savings. Kasi solar energy can be cheaper than traditional coal power plant energy or whatever. And but yung savings na yun ay hindi basta-basta. Kasi ano pa yun, ROI yun may investment ka, may paglalabas ng capital. But over the years, if you kumbaga kung tama yung paggagamit, makakatipid ka talaga. Second, yun nga, pwedeng may energy ka, pwede ka may battery. So, pwede ka may energy pag nag-brown out. So, pwede ka may store na energy. And third, correct me if I'm wrong pero iniisip ko, for sure, someone na bibili ng solar panel or solar, ang tawag ba dito? Solar energy.
Solar power system.
Solar power system. Hindi lang cost, hindi lang maybe brown out. I'm not sure baka romanticize ko lang. Meron din yung parang, I'm using solar. I'm not destroying the environment or something like that.
Yeah.
Tama ba na yun yung value for consumers? And bakit nga ba bibili or bakit nga ba bumibili yung mga tao or yung market dito?
Right. No, definitely, I think those three are top of mind. Prior to this year, actually, medyo mas ganun po on the third part na some people are motivated because it's, renewable, you don't have to burn fossil fuel, which by the way is just another physical battery. Like, I mean, if you think about it, fossil fuels like, yan yung mga buto tsaka plants ng carbon life forms dati, di ba? Tapos parang kinompress through pressure and heat. Essentially, baterya yun, right? Na-store yung energy in the fossil. So it's cost. It's like, there's an angle of environment care. But I feel like the bigger story in the Philippines is like independence. There's an angle where, institutions are weak, if not failing. And by thinking about this technology as decentralizing and distributing sort of through technology, you're literally empowering people. I think there's some people na hindi gusto ko na lang magsarili. I mean, this is my private property. I want to put solar batteries and like whatever happens outside my house, I saved my family, right? I took matters into my own hands.
True, very true, very true. Independence. Pero in this case, independence from the national distribution. Meron bang, I'm not sure, nag-import ba tayo ng electricity or whatever? May ganun bang case sa Pilipinas na, kasi with what you said sa independence, I'm just analogizing. Let's say pandemic, di ba? No pandemic, naputol yung supply chains, nagmahal ng pagkain, etc. May ganung case din ba sa Pilipinas na pwedeng, dahil dependent tayo sa ibang bansa or something, in case of energy, tataas bigla yung presyo. So,
absolutely.
But if we are solar powered and kanya-kanyang bahay natin may mga solar systems, solar power systems, hindi tayo dependent on sa ibang entity. So, hindi maapektuhan yung presyo kasi we have our own, right?
Exactly. So, and the DOE frames it especially in the word indigenous, right? Because if you think about our power sector, like I said, mga 60% yung coal, more than 90% of that ini-importan sa Indonesia. So magtampo lang ang Indonesia sa atin.
Grabe, ang laki pala.
Guguho ang buong power system. And I think the Indonesians recently shared news of like they wanna reprioritize local sort of business and whatever. So, I mean, and I have friends in the Indonesian solar industry and the power sector. So, very collaborative naman ang ASEAN, right? But that's still a promise.
Yeah.
Right? And as we've seen in this whole Strait of Hormuz thing, geopolitics are a risk that you want to protect against. And like I said, coal is more than 90% imported. We also import quite a bit of fuel for transportation, which is the number one energy consumption in the energy mix, not just power, like energy-wise. So I would imagine, and many are already buying EVs now, right? So yung electrification is actually a good thing for us because less reliance on imported oil. However, that means we need to really double up our efforts in installing more generation capacity. To put that into context, the average American uses maybe 12 to 14 times more electricity than the average Filipino. And then like some crazy number, yung mga in the Netherlands ata or some European country, they use like 50 times more electricity than the common Filipino. Ganun ka-poor yung energy consumption natin. Indonesians use 2 times more electricity. So actually, sobrang tipid pa tayo sa never tayo nag-industrialize eh. And that's a big part of that kasi nung 90s when we had our chance, sobrang mahal ng kuryente. Nag-aalisan yung mga factory, kaya tayo nagkaroon ng waves of OFWs kasi wala tayong trabaho mabigay. So that's a big part of my advocacy because I don't even talk about climate when I talk on conferences and like everywhere. I view this as an energy independence and like a local job creation opportunity. And to your point, pagka nagtampo lahat ng countries where we are importing most of our power, that's a very scary scenario. So we really need to build a lot more indigenous renewables, whether it's utility scale solar, rooftop solar. There's some wind projects coming in. We are a good geothermal market as well. Dati nga, number 2 tayo in the world behind the US in the 70s. And somehow ngayon, parang mga 4th or 5th na lang tayo. So, we're so blessed as a country. We have a lot of resources that we just have to get to work in building.
In today's digital world, your organization needs more than just technology. It needs a strategic partner. At Symph, we build web and mobile apps that drive innovation for startups, enterprises, and organizations worldwide. Visit symph.co today. Trust the digital future with Twala. Secure and tamper-proof digital signature. Electronic notarization service. And custom AI agents for intelligent document workflows. Visit twala.io to learn more.
Yeah, pero ang gandang angle nun. Ngayon ko lang ever na-encounter yan. May mga na-interview ako ibang solar. Laging climate nga laging climate. Pero now, it's yung independence na. Sama political din siya, or parang, hindi nga political, parang, hindi tayo maging reliant lang. Yun lang. Hindi tayo maging reliant sa ibang entity, ibang bansa because energy is a need. It's a need. So, dapat hindi depende sa ibang bansa or ibang entity. Kasi, parang I mean, lahat ng electronics natin, ini-import natin. So, kung magalit nga sa atin kung sino mang tao, taasan yung presyo, lugi kagad tayo kasi wala tayong sarili yung atin. Ayun. Anyway, now if I may ask Ping about your background. Kasi, of course, you know a lot sa energy industry. And kanina, actually, before our recording, napagkwentuhan na natin, no? But maybe we can let our listeners know, no? So, ano nga ba yung background sa energy industry? And kung okay na pakwento yung buong yun hanggang sa bakit ka nag-start up?
Sure.
Bakit ka nag-UDA? Bakit mo stinart sa UDA? Ayun.
So, coming out of UP, I actually went into consumer goods kasi dati ilan may mga trabaho eh. So, I worked for Pepsi as a brand marketing person. So, I was going around, mga concert ni Bamboo, ni Constantino. That was that type of marketing job I had. But I also learned the whole fragmented sort of logistics and distribution issue ng Pilipinas. Like dati sa Pepsi, we had like, I think 13 or 14 bottling plants. Doon ako sa bottler side eh. So I would go around the mga probinsya na may bottling facility and then try to figure out, at that time, more than 80% ng soft drinks, returnable glass bottle pa eh. So here I was, coming out of university, I would go to the US and like my on vacation. Tapos parang, akala ko parang ang daming first world technology tsaka solutions na madali gawin sa Pilipinas. Pero fundamentally, logistics pa rin yung pinakamahirap na issue.
Ay, why? Bakit mahirap ang logistics? Sa Pilipinas?
So, syempre, ang dami nating islands.
Okay.
We don't have the port infrastructure to move things at scale. And napakahirap simulan doon kasi wala ring demand doon sa mga probinsya eh. Nandito lahat ng consumer that's big enough for the big companies to want to serve profitably.
Yeah, hindi economic.
Correct.
Yeah.
So thankfully, merong port sa Cebu, sa Davao, but we have to do a better job at like yung US naman, kaya naman yan naging mayaman because of the Mississippi River system. So it was so much cheaper to ship goods and services through water than on land. And then they had this massive infrastructure build out on roads, freeways, and tollways, right? And again, yung analogy ko kanina of railroads ng yung Europe, right?
At landlocked eh. So, mas madali kung
exactly. So, tayo,
archipelago.
Ideally, dapat mas mura over water, pero since hindi siya river or inland water, mahal rin yung shipping cost nun eh.
Bagay.
So, yun, that's where I got my first taste of the real world. Like, worked in Pepsi, and then I went into, my father's an naval engineer, so he had a shipbuilding company. So I was doing construction work with him. And then I went into real estate, where it was, socialized mass housing, a lot of financing support needed. And then I went into a financial services company, mga foreclosures ng mga bahay na hindi nabayaran, mga naremata na properties. We were working on that. And I didn't really like it that much. Like, it was to wear a tie every day to work, and I got sick, and alam mo yung pag hindi ka bagay sa situation mo, it manifests in your body. And then I was browsing LinkedIn. There was this ad about, we're gonna put solar panels on top of houses and malls. And I was like, wow, interesting to. Siyempre, at that point, so kung saan ako sa trabaho, di ba? I checked on it, I clicked on it, and then, interesting concept. No one's doing it. The founder is the son of a senator. Baka may opportunity dito. I go to this interview. It was in a tiny condominium in Makati. And that's where I met Leandro Reviste.
Okay pala nakasabi niya. Alam ko. Okay.
So, Solar Philippines, I was like an early employee. Parang less than 20 people pa lang kami doon. So, I saw sort of the everyday bagong grind startup problem, and Leandro's quite a character, right? So, it was very interesting to work with him. And from that experience, doon ko na, kasi hindi naman ako engineer eh. I'm a business graduate eh.
Business ad, no?
Business ad in UP. So, that's where I learned the technology. Nagda-door-to-door sales ako. I would climb a roof every week. Kasi kailangan gawin mo lahat eh. And then after that, but my son then was like, I think he was 2. I needed a bit of a more stable situation. And that's where I got into the regulated side of the business, Aboitiz Power. I really learned a lot from sort of working.
Solar nila? Solar no Aboitiz Power or
So
copper?
actually, it's a distribution utility. I was flying to Veco and Davao Light in Cebu.
Pero traditional power. I mean traditional energy. Hindi
Yes,
solar.
so utility.
Utility.
So many people don't realize there's more than 120, 140 utilities in the country.
Yeah.
Meralco is just the biggest one na parang
Yes.
kilala ng lahat dito sa
Nagulat ka rin
Manila.
ako when I went outside Metro Manila. Iba. At pulang nga AP, Aboitiz Power. Maraming AP. I use AP kasi yun yung stock, niya eh.
Right.
ticket.
So AP is Cebu, Davao, pero madaming electric cooperatives. So it's a very different world actually than in Manila on the electric power side, right? But concurrently, while I was helping out the utility, they wanted to incubate a rooftop solar company. We called it APX. So I was also working on that for Aboitiz for a while. And then 2020 came around. I went to a climate impact VC based in Singapore. And yun naman, parang on the finance side and investments, I was looking at other solar companies, wind projects, electric vehicles, energy efficiency. So that was my work there. And then I started Shell's solar business here, which ended up building now about 240 megawatt solar plant in Leyte. So nung nasimulan ko na yun, then I moved to a group called Gurin Energy, where I was running a 60 megawatt solar plant. I was building a 75 megawatt solar plant and other solar and wind battery projects. So medyo mas utility scale naman yung recent years of my career. And then last year, I figured I've done everything, and rooftop still doesn't have an answer. I knew that I wanted to do something for myself as my own business, and I felt like rooftop yung pinakamalaking opportunity that people don't understand that as I do. And yun, I launched Yuda March this year.
By the way, why Yuda yung pangalan? If I may ask. Bakit Yuda?
Right. So, nung bata kasi ako, yung lola ko, pagka kunyari inabutan siya ng pera ng tito ko or like kung someone, inayudahan siya.
Yuda.
Kasi yung unang concept nito was like a crowdfunding platform. Yun yung una ko naisip na parang, and this was like long time ago pa. But I mean, if you think about the word ayuda, it's actually from the Spanish word ayudar, which means to help. And it's also my way of like reminding our team that, hey, oh, solar yung product, but the real service, the mission is to help the installer, to help the homeowner, to help the market. And Yuda sounds better than Ayuda, lalo na ngayon sa
Yeah.
politika ng Pilipinas.
Now, ito yung critical questions in this ano. Ito muna. So, nanggaling ka sa solar, I mean, kumbaga, ano na, in the renewable energy sector, kay APX, and then kay Shell, hindi ba itong ginagawa mo ngayon ay somehow competing? I mean, for sure, you have a better, kumbaga, kaya ang ginawa mo kasi you think of a better way. Pero parang hindi naman sa conflict pero parang, maybe it will be, kumbaga, they are more powerful, they are more big, they are bigger, they are, so, and you're just a startup. So, would it be difficult, challenging? Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, for one, we're bootstrapping this.
Mm-hmm.
I have some help from really close friends, but we haven't really raced around. So sa capital alone, it was a challenge. I was in my last job, I was making more than 150,000 US a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I left it to do this business.
Yan yung next question ko bakit? I mean, it's not stable now. I mean, it's risky. It's very risky.
Sabi nga sa akin ng kaibigan natin sa New Energy Nexus last week, na alam mo, sobrang kabaliwan lang talaga mag-startup sa Pilipinas, no? And I think I come back to, one, I really believe na I'm uniquely positioned to solve a problem that I see where no one else is doing it. Parang sa akin sobrang obvious ng problema and I have an idea of an answer for it, but no one seems to be doing it the way I would do it, so might as well be the one to do it.
Wait lang, on that, yung mga solar initiatives nito, mga big companies na ito, hindi ba siya rooftop or hindi ba siya installation? Even yung kanina, yung company na sinabi mo, hindi ba siya same dito? Or iba, what's the difference doon sa itong Yuda doon sa ginagawa nila?
So, meron na ring offer, especially AP. I think they have their rooftop solar business right now. I just feel like it can be so much better.
Okay.
I feel like both on the customer journey and primarily, again, like I said, rooftop solar and batteries, this is the first product. The mission is make world-class technology available, accessible, and affordable to the common Filipino. And solar is just the first one. I've been around in the power industry enough to know that there are some regulations na ito yung set game, but there's a one step aside game na pwedeng ma-unlock by doing new technology, new business models, the direct to consumer. That's one. Secondly, there's always a tension to innovation in big companies. Kaya rin ako na umalis when I was working for them because nainip ako. Like, there's this level of risk that bigger companies are able and willingly want to take. And ito, that was like a complete risk on bet on my part. As in, like, I'm not paying anything myself, any salary on this. I've got a team that I'm managing payroll for.
Yeah, and you're paying them pa.
Correct. And reputationally, career-wise, I mean, to your point, I'm also the president of the Solar Industry Association now. I talk to my peers, colleagues, ex-office mates, and ex-bosses frequently. And both on an intellectual and on a commercial perspective, madaming Yuda is a very step away from the traditional power sector. So those are the things I manage daily. And to your point, why do I do it? Because ano pa bang gagawin ko? I only have one life. So I had this near-death experience in 2022, and after that, wala na. Parang every hour counts, man. Like, I have 2 kids. I have like this whole life of experiencing the Philippines, the beauty of it, talking to people. And if you see a problem that isn't fixed for so long, you just want to go do something about it yourself.
Dagdagan mo lang yun, yung sa near-death experience. Pansin ko lang even kay Elon Musk, some founders I interview na napaka-visionary, I ask them why they do the startup even if it's very risky. Parang laging nagsa-surface na, yeah, because we have just a short life and kumbaga, it's either you do something Or kung wala kang nagawa, it's parang wala ka rin, parang hindi ka rin nabuhay or something like that. So, YOLO. Ay, hindi mo YOLO, pero it's better to do it.
Well, literally YOLO eh. You only live once eh. So, no, that's something I remind myself even if naniniwala ako doon, syempre may mga araw na parang ang hirap, like there's just so much things to not only be challenged about but also be distracted with. Sometimes I'm at the point where it's not difficult to do something or want to do something. It's choosing what to put my time and energy to.
Yes.
So it's being clear what the priorities are, what's really important, not getting lost with what could be just distractions.
If I may ask lang din, no, so this is Solar Energy Solar Association of the Philippines. Hindi ba I mean, this is baka very random din a question. Hindi pa competitors yung mga yun. So parang hindi ba, if you share an idea to them or if you say that I'll be doing this or something like that, pwede ka nilang politikahin or i-block or whatever. Parang, pero ganun ba na nagkaka-open yung association na, and parang ikaw, you want to do something, they support you. I mean, because you're all towards solar energy or you're actually all towards cheaper energy for the Philippines. So, I'm just curious about the dynamics ng mga interactions din sa ganung klaseng, parang siyang tawag dito, yung parang association ng isang industry. So, and those are competitors somehow.
Of course. And I think that's the value of PSEA. PSEA is the name of the group, PSSEA, Philippine Solar and Storage Energy Alliance. The value there is, actually, nag-start naman yun is like yung mga, nung hindi pa uso ang solar, yung maliliit na company na syempre walang buong department for regulatory affairs or nagsasama-sama to like talk to government to enable the policy and like make regulations more open and conducive to solar technology adoption, right? Although recently in our board, nandun na rin yung big players, like you've mentioned the AP, we've got even multinationals like Huawei on the board. And many times as president, I balance sort of the conversation. Parang, syempre, people are like thinking about what they believe is the right sort of direction of the industry. And good thing, we've reorganized the association now. Meron na kami mga technical working groups. There's a bit more structure in the org. I was fortunate to get support from, supporters outside the industry to, hire a professional team. We've got a better secretariat now. So medyo inayos ko muna yung sistema ng PSEA. Pero to your question, na mahirap ba yun or challenging? Of course. But I feel like even if I share, and this is a true story, I talked to hindi ko na lang isa-specify, but I talked to the C-suite and the CEO of one of the name brands in power in the country. I just won't mention. And I already told him exactly what I was gonna do about Yuda. Itong game plan ko. Kasi they also want to do something like this. I already told them the game plan no October 2025. And medyo ngayon sila nagsa-start.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes quite a bit of... Kasi busy rin naman sila eh. And it's not because they don't want to solve problems. They just have too many problems to solve. That's the thing about big companies. Siyempre, may inertia eh. May inertia. So, my view, this is one of the very few legitimate startup opportunities in the Philippines that really moves the needle, that requires, a significant, I guess, stretching of vision. Kasi, like you said, paano mo i-shift away yung consumers from something that works? Oo, mahal. Pero pag nag-plug ka ng kuryente, gumagana eh. So it's not like it's not working. But I feel like the problem is something is important enough. And even if I say what I was gonna do or like yung vision ko, I just feel like my team can execute better.
Tsaka, pag inisip ko lang din, parang siguro yun nga advantage sa startup. Smaller, more flexible, more agile. So first, you have a head start. Hindi na yung dadaan sa maraming approval, politics, maybe corporate, whatever. And also, I think, I'm not that sure, pero I think baka mas kaya nyong aralin yung consumer experience. I think kasi mas madaling i-build yung systems para on the ground and mabilis yung feedback loop, kumbaga. So mabilis yung feedback loop, mas mabilis kayong mag-execute, mas mabilis mag-redevelop din, or parang reiterate, malamang yan, meron pa yung mga magpapaguhin sa product or whatever. So, mas madali yung mahahanap maybe yung sweet spot kasama yung pricing, yung service, yung monitoring, even the product itself, etc. And possibly, mas mabilis nyo mahanap yung sweet spot na yun, and then you hit the industry.
Exactly to that point, no? Because I'm very particular about hiring. And especially now, what really excites me is because of AI, nag-iba din yung strategy ko eh. Like, when I was thinking about this business late last year, I was thinking, sige, nag-VC na ako, kilala ko yung mga ganyan. And like, I know how to fundraise in theory, di ba? Na ito yung budget for headcount, ganito, ganyan. But then, at the start of the year, I was like, teka, medyo galing na AI. So right now, we only have 3 full-time people. So my CTO runs like agentic AI to build the tech stack. And then my COO is like super AI user. And then my head of sales, we have an AI assistant on our website, on our Facebook chat. So a lot of the qualified leads are for closing, para at least talaga nakikinig muna kami to what breaks in the system and then fix it every week, no? So I'm super bullish about using AI tools. And to your question na parang, how do we catch up or how do we compete with the bigger companies? We just want to attract really the most talented people and give them the space to play. As in, use your AI or like use yung kung saan ka magaling. Edi yun yung gawin mo sa business natin.
Yeah. So, I think, maybe not applicable sa all, no? Pero I think you don't need to hire nga naman talaga sobrang daming tao. If those people are capable and AI assisted or you can maximize AI, I think that can be enough. I just want to ask, I remember kasi yung mga iba ko na interview na Solar Energy, they actually have, if it's okay to ask this, they have an exit strategy or parang they have a plan to fundraise and then to sell. I mean, kumbaga to exit, to sell to some big company. Meron din naman ata, pero parang mas marami yung mga ganun. Kasi they went on the VC path na eh. Meron din yung bootstrap, purely bootstrap. And then meron din bootstrap sa simula, and then fundraise, and then may exit strategy, may plan to exit. What do you see sa Yuda? Do you plan to bootstrap this along the way, or like fundraise and then exit somewhere along the way? Yeah.
So if you asked me that 6 months ago, I would have this parang grand scheme of things na parang, this is what I want to do. And one thing I learned in this startup journey, like your plans are just gonna be tested, broken, bended as much, right? I think yung guiding principle ko is what works best for the customer. Whether it's the traditional path where I raise a bit of money, offer more financing, offer more services. Kasi that's also an issue now, right? There's a bit of buzz and like hype. So dumadami na yung solar offers. Pero the cost of capital is outrageous. Like hindi pa rin ganun kamura for most people to get solar. And more financing doesn't really solve it. You have to sort of re-engineer the financial stack. So whether that means we raise and then we list in 2-3 years, kasi allowed na rin naman ngayon yun eh. Diba? Merong parang fast track to listing that the government wants to introduce. If some of the bigger companies that are interested to be in this space want to partner with us, would be more than happy to talk. But again, it's not something I want to predefine because masyado ring dynamic eh. The more I get into this startup sort of learning curve, nagugulat din ako na parang ang galing na nung team with this little input. Or sometimes, the customers are actually willing to pay a higher price. It's not just the lowest quote that wins now. They value the quality direction, the technology choice, the expertise of the team. So, feeling ko ang dami pang mangyayari in the market that makes it difficult for me to, ito yung path. Tapos yan yung tamang sagot.
Tsaka as a startup, magandang character din na, yun nga, flexible. I mean, let's see what the market has and let's react.
Exactly. Yeah.
You mentioned kasi kanina yung sa financing on the buyer side, yung magpapa-install ng solar power system. Napaisip din ako, hindi siya madali ibenta kasi it's a large capital for the buyer, for me, for everyone. But I guess meron ng parang financing way, no? Parang loan. So that's mas magaan sa bulsa. Monthly. So on that end, I also want to ask, and it's okay not to answer if very strategic siya. Ano yung parang marketing strategy or parang how do you really penetrate the market? Kumbaga, startups or corporations can angle it as cheaper overall. Talaga cheaper overall or better financing. I mean, like sa real estate, diba? Cheaper overall, low-cost housing or pag-ibig financing or whatever. So, if I may ask, what's the strategy really to penetrate or to hit the market?
Sure. So we know our role in Yuda, which is removing friction in the buyer experience. We are not a financing company, so we have partners that offer the financing. So shout out to John Altamonte ng Sun Fund because he's a good friend of mine, and they also offer financing that is available through the Yuda platform, right? But also, I'm increasingly engaged with banks and some of the fintechs that offer financing. So, I mean, our view is what we want to work on is how a consumer would experience the buying. And then if they need financing, extra steps na yun. And then we bring in the right partner.
Okay.
Secondly, there's a big market that don't need financing because they understand that if you buy a turnkey, 3 to 4 year payback is like over 25% return on your money.
Yeah.
That's so much better than stocks in the past year, huh?
Actually. No.
And there's no bond that can compare. If you think about solar, it's really a bond. Eh. Even yung mga utility scale projects, that's your bond kasi walang input cost, walang volatility sa operations ng asset. It's a fixed return asset. So the more financially savvy segment of the market understand that buying upfront is the best way to do it. And madami namang may cash eh.
Pag may cash.
So if I can build the Yuda offer based on that first, and again, we're a lean team, I'm trying to keep, a very efficient shop. Papagalingin mo rin naman yung setup such that once it's sort of more open, whether I raise more money for financing, onboard more partners or whatever, dadating din yung financing. The problem with financing is it's not a solution, it's an enhancer. You cannot differentiate a business based on arbitraging interest rates. Hindi ka banko eh. All the banks are better at you on that. So, I want to differentiate on technology, on quality, and customer service. And soon, the financing rails will come. That's what I believe.
Quality, technology, and customer service. Pero, balikan ko lang yung ang ganda no? If you have the cash, it's actually a better investment. If you spend money naman talaga for kuryente, it's actually a better investment than stocks kasi laki ng tipid mo, no? Kumbaga, kung ikikita mo sa stocks, ikikita mo lang sa tipid mo dahil sa paggamit ng solar. And on the other hand, yun namang medyo kulang ng capital like me, wow. Naisip ko lang, posible mangyari na yung ikatitipid ko sa kuryente, sa Meralco bill, yun yung babayaran ko monthly. So parang overall, pwedeng dahil lang financing ako. I mean, it's a complex computation, financial computation. Pero parang ikatitipid ko sa Meralco bill nga dahil ay solar. Then yung loan na pinabayad ko monthly, mas maliit dun.
Yes.
So napababa ko pa rin yung kuryente ko.
Correct.
No?
Correct. And that presupposes na one, mura enough yung binibili mo,
okay.
And the financing cost is also low enough.
Yes.
The good thing in the Philippines is apakamahal din ang kuryente natin. So even if hindi ganun kamura yung cost of the equipment and the financing, eventually as prices rise dun sa power on the traditional utility bills, you're right. Eventually, may mas mataas na yung savings kesa dun sa amortization.
Yeah.
Right?
Meet Lala, a freelancer who chose Gig Genius. Unlike many platforms that make freelancers pay just to apply, Gig Genius was built to put skills first, not spending. No pay-to-apply barriers, no bidding fees, just safer opportunities through dual system verification. Ready to experience the difference? Visit giggenius.io and join Gig Genius today.
Education is evolving, and so are we. Introducing School Tech by Edfolio, your all-in-one school management solution. Built for schools of all sizes, School Tech bridges the gap between school and learning management. Driven by passion, School Tech makes educational technology accessible, affordable, and easy to use for schools everywhere. With an integrated approach, SchoolTech simplifies management across different departments and enhances efficiency in operations. SchoolTech transforms the way schools manage, teach, and learn. SchoolTech, taking school management solutions to the next level.
Running a business? Make it smarter with Red Circle Global. Streamline operations, boost productivity, and manage everything in one powerful ERP system. Book your free business demo today at redcircleglobal.com, guided by one of our top experts.
Okay, anyway, sige, actually, ay, 1 hour na pala tayo. Last question na lang, Ping. What is the vision? Ano yung future, first, well, you mentioned din parang direction, pero how do you see Yuda maybe in 5 years? Do you see all, not naman all, no, pero a large portion of the market, a large portion of homes in the Philippines, but Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, have solar installed on their rooftops, Yuda installed on their rooftops. So what do you see as the vision?
So my view is we're not a solar company. The vision for Yuda is it's a nationwide offer na anyone in Metro Manila, pareho yung may experience in Cebu, in Davao. It's going to be almost like how the telcos moved from fixed cost assets, landline, to mobile phones and like branded customer experience. I will soon go around the country onboarding installer partners and really working on the franchisable model because kulang din naman yung negosyo sa probinsya. So my view is I need to enable the local partner to be, meron kang Apple Store experience. People can touch and feel the technology. And then you can book your site visit and purchase on the spot. And then that's the sort of Yuda experience I want in every major city in the country. And then, like we said, financing just unlocks a lot of that. But my view is it's probably going to be like a subscription or a recurring offer to consumer. Like to your insight, if I know that solar is like 4, 5, 6 pesos per kilowatt hour, even with battery, and tumataas lang, and I post this on Facebook and LinkedIn all the time kung ano yung trend ng power prices. Kung pataas lang ng pataas ang kuryente, the appeal improves for solar. So I see a universe in the next 5 years where Yuda offers you, 4,999 starter home package. Right? And then you get free solar and storage. Basta magbayad ka ng 3-year lockup na parang telco plan.
Parang nga, kaya.
Libre na yung iPhone.
Yes.
Right? So, I think that's what excites me. The whole vision for you is to change the game so much better that it delivers better price, quality, and service to people. Kasi if you think about the traditional power business, lahat naman yan is more infrastructure and like asset returning. Never was it built with a consumer branding experience. Hindi siya pinag-aralan. Bakit ba masakit ang kuryente? Or
Oo nga. Oo.
bakit ba hirap na hirap ang tao sa kuryente? Nung nasa Pepsi ako, yun yung parang kalahati ng trabaho ng marketing . Ano binibili ng tao? Magkano ang 2 liter? Bakit sila pumupunta sa sari-sari store, hindi sa grocery? Iintindihin mo yung pinagdadaanan ng tao bago ka magbenta. The whole power system was built. Magkano ba ang pole? You're allowed X weighted average cost of capital return on that asset. Yun yung i-charge mo sa consumer. Tapos, magkano ba gusto singilin ng gobyerno? Idadagdag mo sa bill. Yun yung isisingil sa'yo ng utility. No one, and it's not a bad thing, right? Kasi yun yung constraint ng technology dati. But things are changing. Like the modularity of solar, na you can put it anywhere, enables you to be a consumer-first business model.
Yeah. Parang ang ganda nga makita. Tsaka, come to think of it, siguro malaking bagay dahil yung electricity sa ngayon, well, the grid kasi, ang Meralco is private company. Ang grid, private ba yun? Sorry, or government-owned ba ang National Grid?
So, Transco is government-owned, but NGCP is a private entity
Private, okay.
ng operator and the concession owner.
Yeah, pero now that I think about it, wala nga yung parang, kunyari, magpapakamit ako ng Wi-Fi. Let's say, hindi magbabanggit ng brands, pero fiber or anything. Kumbaga, if you're a consumer, ang dali pumasok sa kumbaga, alam na ng lahat ng tao, tsaka even installation, ang dali . Wala pang ganun sa solar energy. And I think ang magiging edge nga siguro ni Yuda, with the name pangalan mo, tinanong ko yung kung bakit Yuda. I think the customer experience and the relation of the technology to the customer, kung paano talaga siya dapat madala yung technology. Parang a lot of, in the past, parang if I observe, parang focusing on the technology, on how to make it efficient, pero yung talagang pagdala sa consumer level, yung talagang sa mata, sa feeling ng tao, ng Pilipino, parang maybe Yuda nga yung talagang papunta doon sa solar energy industry. Ayun. Ayun, sige, thank you very much, Ping, sa ating usapan. Actually, may isa pang tanong na lang.
Kulang.
Last. Although natanong ko na kanina, pero what really motivates you? Although nasagot mo na kanina, sabi nga kasi ni Elon Musk, di ba, parang to start a business, parang kailangan mong lumuhod sa bubog or something, or talagang
Eat glass.
eat glass. Eat glass.
Stare into the abyss.
Ayun, stare into the abyss. I just want to understand really, what really is your drive and motivation?
So,
and also, sorry if I may add pa, may experience ka naman sa corporate, sa Aboitiz and sa Shell. May experience ka, kumbaga, building the business, but in a corporate, tawag dito, in that scenario, this is from scratch.
Yes.
I mean, this is from scratch. So, yeah, what's the motivation to do this, all of this?
So, there's many motivations. I mean, I have a young family. And number one, of course, gusto mo mag-provide ka as best as you can for your wife, your kids, and their children eventually. If you're just asking motivation, that's a big part. And I believe that the more success you have, the more you're in a position to help. Yung ibang people in my family, my brother, my sister, my in-laws, and like my parents, and like everyone will benefit if I become a good person. And becoming a good person is not just mabait ka. Like, syempre kung you have resources or you have impact or you have so many things good going for you, there's so much more good you can give. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So this is, again, I'm a business graduate, right? Fundamentally, I believe that, the capitalist model is what creates goodness. Pag kumita ka ng pera, you create jobs, you reinvest. I'm also sick of like thinking that better politics significantly helps the Philippines. Kasi kung governance problem lang naman ng Pilipinas, bakit yung Pasig hindi pa rin mukhang BGC if sobrang galing ng ine-elect mong tama? There are systems around us that have to be fixed. It just so happens that the system I know and I can fix is the power system. So, that motivates me a lot. Like, to that, to our conversation kanina, parang, YOLO ano pang gagawin mo? If I can do something that changes things for the better, that wakes me up. Pero honestly, the past few months, hindi rin motivation yung magdadala sa'yo eh. Kasi you have to have, better habits and like a lot of discipline. Siyempre, very motivating din na kaya kong bayaran yung sweldo ng mga tao. Because I cannot fail. I cannot fail the promises I make. And a core thing that we want in Yuda, and this is what we hope to extend to our customers, is if you make a promise, you keep it. I made a promise to my team. I made a promise to my wife. Hey, I'm gonna make this succeed. So that's,
Wow.
gusto ko yun. Nakaka-motivate sa akin na parang, I don't want to lose.
Okay. Hindi, tsaka I think, the commitment, I don't wanna lose. Tsaka, ang ganda sabi mo about to make, in what you can contribute to make the country a better place, do it. Ayun. Sige, let's end our episode at that. Thank you very much, Ping, for our conversation. Not just about solar, but a larger philosophy din of, nation building. Very UP, very UP.
Boy, pag-asa ng bayan.
Serve the people, tsaka pag-asa ng bayan.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I could go on, right? So, I'm so happy to...
Let's do a part 2 next time.
For sure. Sige.
Yeah. Ping, if our listeners want to know more about you, baka may gusto magpakabit ng solar power systems or maybe partner, so how can they get more information? Maybe you can lead them to the website or
Yes.
social media.
So the website is yuda.com.ph. We have our AI tools there to help you size your system. We're also present on Facebook and Instagram, so search nyo na lang Yuda. But also my Facebook and LinkedIn pages are pretty much where I post on like my perspectives, and sometimes also if you have a question directly to me, I'm pretty responsive there. So yun, yeah.
Yeah, so connect din with Ping Mendoza. On LinkedIn, Facebook, or wherever. So yeah, thank you very much, Ping. Thank you very much for this very insightful and inspiring conversation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a good day.
And thank you sa mga nakinig. Salamat.
Thank you very much to our 66 patrons. This episode is super powered by AskLex PH Academy, our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and more. Cloud CFO. Cloud CFO provides expert accounting, tax, and payroll services for SMEs and startups using smart technology to deliver actionable financial insights. Architect Space Solutions. Architect provides ground station services, space data analytics, and technology supplies to grow the Philippines' role in the global space ecosystem. DiviCode Technologies Incorporated, IT solutions specializing in software development, blockchain, smart contracts, digital wallets, and cybersecurity. Argum AI makes smarter decisions by presenting both sides of an issue as argued by two distinct AI models. Pixel by Implement. Turn content into opportunity, grow deeper connections, and earn more. Only with Pixel. Sign up at pixel.implement.co. School of Profits. Filipino-led community for aspiring freelancers, VAs, agency builders, and online earners. Built to help you start, grow, and earn online together. Founders Launchpad, our ecosystem partner. Early stage accelerator providing venture capital funding, operational support, and mentorship. Hire Business Solutions, provider of the most configurable cloud-based payroll system in the Philippines. Agile Data Solutions, the Philippines' fastest growing market insights tech company with its data gathering platform, HustlePH. Smile Checks, streamline hiring and onboarding with automated background checks. Cloverly, all-in-one digital platform for property developers. Body Beauties, accessible and personalized diabetes self-management application. Hyperstocks, digital banking enabler for rural and thrift banks. Wonderbrand, data science-driven brand strategy and design for emerging markets. This episode is powered by Pareto Consulting, Josie AI, Uplift Code Comp, Board Prep, Kanzen Barley, East Point Business Outsourcing Services, Filipina Home-Based Moms, Hex Colony, Jur.ph, Big Giant Games, Pahatid PH, Sugbudok, Agacon Aquafeeds Juan Alj, Grey Wolf Technologies Philippines, Sirius MD. Support the podcast through the link in the description.